Okay, this is part of the complete DPMS kit. This is how it comes from Midway like this. I'm going to open this up, and then I'm going to explain to you what each parts are so you can ID them. Biggest thing is you can put the wrong spring in the wrong detent in the wrong spot. It can happen. Then you're trying to push another roll pin back out. Trust me, I've done it. So, okay, I just made this board, laid it out. You can get a lot of this information on AR15.com. There's a lot of places you can get this information. But just wanted to show you a live view of it. You should have 30 pieces here. If you don't have 30 pieces, you're in trouble. Not counting this washer as a part. So, take down and pivot detent pin, you should have 2 of them. Take down and pivot detent springs, you should have 2 of them. Trigger and hammer pins, you should have 2 of them. My first one I ever built, I made this mistake. I used this detent instead of for my bolt catch. And these 2 springs are very close to each other. Disconnector spring. How you can tell the difference is, on one of these there's a little flare. I don't know if you can see it. Put it on this ruler here. See if you can see it. It flares out where the other one's just straight. If you look at the difference. So the flared one is your disconnector spring. So anyways, just take your time. Hopefully this will help. Close-up view. Take down pin, pivot pin, trigger hammer pins, bolt catch roll pin, trigger guard roll pin, buffer retainer, bolt catch buffer, selector detent, take down pivot and pin detents, trigger spring, hammer spring, disconnector, magazine catch spring, disconnector spring, see how that's flared on the end, buffer retainer spring, bolt catch spring, selector spring, take down pivot detent springs, there's 2 of them, trigger, hammer, disconnector, bolt catch, selector, grip bolt, trigger guard, magazine catch, and magazine button. Okay, there you go. I hope this helps out a little bit. Here's a little tip for the grip bolt. Just put a little bit of that on. Just let it sit before you build. Put just a touch more. Another tip you want to do is when you open up your parts kits or whatever, is you want to either get a Tupperware bowl or something that's not going to tip over, because if you got to stop in the middle of something, phone call, somebody comes to the door, like, you know, parts deliveries or something, you're going to lose parts if you're not careful. So what I got is this little spare parts kit, because it really sucks when you have to order parts or you can't get something in town and you have to wait to finish building your gun. Do that. Another tip with roll pins. Do not, I've got fat fingers. Try to hold this, and then look at how much little room you have to swing this hammer. You're gonna have a bad hit the first time. It's gonna go off, damage. That's where most of your problems end up being. Then you'll have to clean that up with a file or whatnot. What I always do is use a pair of needle nose. These are just my Leatherman, and I just do one quick little medium-sized tap, and it goes right in. Another thing to do, here's another tip if you got a bad roll pin. These are good, so I'm not going to really do anything. Put it in the chuck of your drill. And then this is just emery cloth, and you just clean it up that way. Just another little tip to help you be more successful. Here's another little tip that I use. I'm going to put electrical tape all over this. I like the electrical tape instead of masking tape, or use duct tape, because this stuff is a lot heavier, so you don't mar up your finish. It's real easy. Another real quick tip is I was just thinking about it. Besides using a small, you got a short roll pin punch, you got a chance of hitting back here and not getting a straight line. So the straighter this pin is, the better, the more energy you're putting into the roll pin. So I picked up these real long roll pin punches, or not roll pin punches, but pin punches, and it gets me away from the receiver and everything. Allows me to really concentrate on my work.